So yeah, I tested everything, thought everything's good, then realized I recorded a 21-minute video over all the Scream movies, and somehow my audio didn't record. I'm making short recording this time because my voice kind of hurts now, so please bear with me. I'm a little bit annoyed. I've got my rankings out here. At the very least, I know where things go. I can talk a little bit more about stuff since I've already recorded pieces of what my thoughts are. I'm just not particularly happy. Anyways, on to the video. Alright, so, first movie is Scream 1. I think Scream 1 is the best Scream movie. We're gonna put the GOAT right here. I adore Scream 1. Sidney Prescott is one of my favorite final girls in general. Just altogether, probably my favorite. I think she is a very well-defined character. I think she's done super well. She's like, just resourceful, smart, brutal when she needs to be. Kills people when she needs to most of the time. I think that the kills here are fun. I think her best friend, Dewey's sister, has a really fun kill. I think it's tragic, it's brutal, and it's done pretty fucking well. I like her character a lot, and it was sad to see her die. Dewey and Gale are really good characters. They're really fun. I think they do well with one another in that regard. They're just pretty fucking cool. I don't have a lot more to add to that, honestly. I just think they're really neat. And I like it when people are really neat. And I think they do super well with that. In all honesty, I like them a good amount. Yeah. Billy and Stu are the best revealed villains. It's just what it is. They're super charismatic. They're pretty likable as killers in terms of what you're expecting and looking for. They're pretty sadistic. I think that it's just the most natural engrossment of what you can get out of the characters. I think that both are done fantastically. Dewey and Gale are fantastic as like the developing couple throughout the series up until you hit the fifth movie for obvious reasons. I think they do well as a couple that goes on and off again. I like that. That's pretty cool. It's very well done in terms of everything you'd expect out of a really good horror movie. And I think Scream capitalizes on that perfectly. I think they have creative kills. Not my favorite kills in this series. I think that goes to 6 and a little bit of 4. But they're pretty close. I think that everything is nice and punchy. Everything feels pretty good. You get the initial first kill, which is really cool. You get the first kills in each movie. 1 and 2 do it really well. 3 has some fun one. 4 has a funny fake out one. 5 and 6 do it pretty well where they need to as well. Yeah, I think all that is done super. All of them have good first kills to a degree, I think. I don't think there's one I hate, which is good. I like when I don't have to hate anything. You also get introduced to characters that will be more important, like Con Weary. He's really important in the second movie and slightly important in the third movie. I think he's done well as the person who was wrongly convicted of the killings before Billy and Stu are actually introduced, and he's kind of just a tertiary background character that becomes a more main focus character in 2, which is pretty cool. I like when you can build on things and then capitalize on them in future movies. Even if I think 2 and 3 are quite a bit weaker, it's nice to have them. Beyond that, kills are super good. I like a lot of them. Not as big of a kill count as you'd expect, and I get like 8 kills, and I think it's 10 kills for the second movie, so I think build it up a little bit more. But it's a solid, healthy amount of kills, and it's just a nice, great foundation for a fantastic series that I love, and it doesn't get better than the first Scream. It sits at the GOAT alone, but I think the other movies can graze close to it. This is like a 9, 9.5 for me. I love it. Great movie, fantastic characters, really fun kills. All the characters feel pretty believable. No one's particularly unlikable, and if they are, it's done for a reason. I think that you play with Billy's character being the boyfriend and being the murderer, alongside a double murder reveal is cool. It's really nice to have. I just think, it's done super well, and I think the first movie really stands up to the test of time. I think it's Wes Craven's best movie by a pretty comfortable mile. And I like the first Nightmare on Elm Street, I like Nightmare on Elm Street 3, but I don't think they can even touch Scream 1. I really don't. I think the first Scream is a classic for a reason, and it's set It's going to stand the test of time for a very, very long time. I think it's still aged beautifully, and it is still one of my favorite horror movies ever. Scream 2 is good. I know people like it more in some circles. I think it's good. I like it, but I think there's also big pieces of weaknesses. The killer reveals being Billy's mom is good, but the other killer, what's his fucking name? I'll look on the Wikipedia page if I can find him. Beyond that, yeah, no, he's just not that great. He's pretty boring. He's nothing. That's what I hate. He's just nobody in this case. He's just another student who runs around and yeah, he's not done well. He gets enough kills. He's fine. But he appears barely in the movie, and then he's really revealed to be a killer, and you're like, oh, okay, that's something. When it's just that's something, that's not good. That's not good. I believe it's Mikey, yeah. Yeah, Mikey. Yeah, he wounds. Okay, yeah. He's whatever. He's the least interesting villain out of them all. Maybe next to Scream 5's one of that villain, because I don't care for the Scream 5 villains either, but I think that movie has its own list of issues that don't exactly correlate with Scream 2's issues. Scream 2 is still a good movie. I like it. But I think it has a lot of flaws that people tend to ignore because it follows Scream. I guess Rotten Tomatoes would be too, but yeah, Rotten Tomatoes metrics aren't very good either. It's still a good movie. I like it. I would rewatch it again pretty easily. It's like a 7 out of 10. 6.5, 7 out of 10. It's pretty damn good. It has some fun kills. It kills off a legacy character, which, hey, that's cool. You kill off a more minor legacy character, but you still kill him off. You know, it's done in a pretty creative way. There's some pretty creative kills. I don't have a problem with that. I think it's just a lot of the issues revolving around a very weak Ghostface reveal and a pretty strong Ghostface reveal, but she doesn't match up to the first movies. Her inclusion as a Ghostface just makes sense, and you get some pieces of her popping up around Gale in the beginning to kind of hint towards it, so it's fine. Gale and Dewey's relationship kind of falling apart because Gale called Dewey the amateur was kind of funny, and they can build out the relationship further once they get in trouble again, which is cool. Cindy coming back, and yeah, she contributes just as much as she does in this movie. The third movie, she's a little less important, which is quite a reason why it's going to be even lower than Scream 2. But yeah, beyond that, it's still a good movie. It's still a perfectly fine, turn it on, watch it, let it do its thing kind of movie. I like it. It definitely does not hit near to the levels of what I adore with Scream 1, though. I think it also has some pretty dumb kills. The biggest one being Cindy's friend who, when they knock Ghostface out in a car and climb over him, Cindy wants to come back to kill him and finish him off. After realizing they just left an unconscious man alone, he gets his big escape route and he kills the friend. I did not like that. I liked the friend, and when she died, I was like, oh man, you got to, why kill her like that? At the very least, do it in a creative way, and they didn't, and that makes me sad, because it's just another minus onto that. It had potential to be up here, but it just misses on a lot of key aspects that I think just miss great, but it's still a very good movie. Okay. Scream 3. It's alright. It's like a 5.5 out of 10 movie. You get one killer. Cotton, I think his name is. Not Cotton. Roman is his name. Roman is not a good killer. Oh yeah, Con Weary is also pretty good in Scream 2. He's kind of like a manipulative dickhead. So I'm going to bring this up really quickly because Con Weary's in the third movie and he's your first kill, along with his wife. And I think that's pretty cool. There's a nice set piece for everything that happens, and you get to be reintroduced to a character that has been there since Scream 1, technically. So another legacy character killed off in Scream 3. Con Weary gets the first kill, but Roman is not a good. For one, there's no way he could have killed all those people at the same time. You should have had another killer alongside him. Any of the other cast members, honestly, could have been fine. Just one that you could have made a sense out of a motive. But no. Him being the only killer doesn't make any sense. He's a boring fucking character. Gale trying to take first pulse and him seeming dead but coming back is dumb. I just do not like Roman as a character very much. Him being Sydney's brother gives decent motivation, I guess, but he's not built up enough to make me care about that. The kills are all muted because, you know, TV regulation stuff and movie regulation stuff made it harder for them to get away with gore, which isn't inherently bad. I love Friday Part 6, and that had the same thing, but this one didn't have very creative kills beyond that one black guy that killed the Ralph balcony. I think it's pretty cool. But beyond that, no, they're not very creative. He has a pretty lame death where he just dies in their hands and it's like, oh, I'm gonna hold your hands. No, it's just done very, very weirdly. I don't like it that much. It has some strong elements. It's not an outright bad movie or anything. It's an alright movie because, hey, I like the movie set aspect to it. It's pretty cool. It gets you into the idea of what a movie sets are like, and that's really neat. It's a really neat exploration of what it's like to make a movie within a movie within a movie. It's a fun little piece to set out, and I like that. That's cool. And, you know, I mean, I like Gal. I like the Gal wannabe who kind of tags along with her. You get your other dumb death where the dude is turning on a lighter, and then out of nowhere it's like, oh, look, there's a gas leak, and he blows up in the house. That's comical. Yeah, but it's just the weakest out of the films, because I think it hits a lot of the big core issues that I have with slashers in general when they become kind of mediocre, and I think this is where it hit. It's a pretty, it matches up well with, like, kind of the more mediocre slashers, but it's a Scream movie. It's not bad, it's just disappointing because I love every other movie quite a bit more. Yeah, it's very disappointing actually in that regard, because like even Scream 2, it's very close to the cusp of here. You know what? Actually, yeah, Scream 2 can stay great because I think it earns it just because of what it can build out of that Scream 3 did not have. I think Scream 3 is incredibly disappointing, and I'm sad that it is a part of this franchise because I think it could be much, much better if they didn't rely too much on the rewrites. And I think the rewrites really, really hurt it. I think Scream 3 is easily the weakest. Scream 4 is quite good though. I would say it is top of great. I think it's bordering, yeah, top of great, bottom fantastic. I'll see how I feel once I compare it to Scream 5. Scream 4 is really fun. I like the cousin killer aspect and the dopey idiot who she takes out because she realizes his plan's stupid. I think that's fun. But still, go back to the two killers, ghost faces, that's good. Two killers is a lot more interesting. I think it makes more sense on how you get a higher kill count. It makes a lot less needing to explain. That's cool. Beyond that, I think the characters coming in are pretty fun. The dead bodies are funny. The streaming while he's being killed is pretty funny. Kirby's a really fun character. I'm glad they didn't kill her. I'm glad they left her fate ambiguous, and we're told that she survived in Scream 5, which is really cool. Sydney's awesome still, but her inclusion to it, I think, starts to feel a little bit like, okay, she's back again. That's nice. At least it's a lot better used in Scream 3, where Sydney is just kind of in the background in the, police office most of the time, which was kind of boring because of being suspected of being a killer, blah, blah, blah. It just wasn't done super well, and I didn't really care. But no, yeah, I like Scream 4. It's pretty fun. It's a super solid movie. I don't have a lot to complain about it. Yeah. Dewey's still there. He has this fun stuff with Gale. I believe in the fourth movie they're actually just together, which is pretty cool. It's nice to have them just together. And then I think once you hit Scream 5, they're back to being separated. Or no, it's something along those lines. I believe they are together because, yeah, they divorced themselves into Scream 3, or separated Scream 3, together in Scream 4, and I believe they divorced themselves in Scream 5, or Scream 5 stuff to happen. I might be misremembering that slightly, but I think that's how it works. But you still get the Dewey Gale stuff, which is some of the best stuff they've done with a romance in a horror movie. Sydney's still awesome. She's still badass. She's still resourceful. And you get to see Sydney's cousin, who is also a psychopath who's kind of clout hungry. Okay, makes sense. She tries to frame it as long her being attacked next to her cousin, which is kind of cool. And the reveal that Sydney's alive, and her shocked expression's hilarious, and she's got a pretty fun kill. I like that she's just defibrillated and shot. It's a fun death. I know they initially thought to bring her back and wanted to leave her fate ambiguous, but I don't think they did. I think it's probably for the better in the long run. I would have been interested if they did the initial ending where she's just gets away with it, at least for the fourth movie, and then let it cliffhanger. It's like, oh, is Sydney alive? But I also get why they didn't do that. It's a bit traditional in that sense, which I think would just stop it from being fantastic, because they had fantastic ideas they just did not escalate on more than they could have, which is a bit of a shame. But no, I really like Scream 4. I think the kills are cool. I think the kills are pretty brutal, because they wanted to bring out the torture porn aspect to it a little bit. You know, movies like Saw exists at that point. This is 2011, I believe 10 years after Scream 3. So yeah, it does really well. It is bordering fantastic, probably fantastic, but I'll keep it here for now. See how I feel once I start going up and down of who I feel like deserves to be up of who, and see where it goes from there. Alright, on to Scream 5, which I think introduces like the longest surviving cast, considering one of the killers isn't very good at killing. But beyond that, we get introduced to Sam, Tara, who are the two siblings that you will follow as the new main characters for the most part. Which I think is fine. I think it does well to separate themselves from Cindy a little bit, keep her more of a legacy background character who can pop up occasionally to help. I don't think she needs to be a main character anymore. I think you can give that to other characters, because I think Sam and Tara are good building blocks to help with that. And, you know, Tara, this is the first time you get a first-time character who survives their assault, which is pretty cool. And that's a way to get Sam back to, you know, the town they're in, to, you know, try and help out and see what's going on. And you get the new Ghostface reveals. And I think those characters work well, especially since Sam is related to Billy Loomis as him being her father, which creates some fun little pieces of her own psyche that you can look into, which is kind of neat. I think it's done pretty well in that regard. Then you get character Richie. He is the boyfriend. He is I believe, Sam's boyfriend, yes. He's fine as a killer. He's not good at killing people, which is kind of funny. Except for Dewey. I believe he's the one who kills Dewey. Or is that the other one? I'm gonna be real. I think him and Amber are not the best killers. I think Amber's fine. She's good enough as being a best friend killer. But the boyfriend killer, again, he's fine. He's just kind of, he only gets one active kill, which is, you know, pretty funny in that regard. You can also get introduced to the twins, who I believe are Mindy and Chad. I like them quite a bit. They are also the nephew and niece to Randy, which is kind of cool. You get a tertiary character that can be kind of built into, since they never want to really kill him. They want to keep him alive, but they didn't, so they're like, well, let's create some characters that are related to him and can connect to his legacy that way. Which, hey, that's fine if you want to do it that way. That's pretty cool. You get the characters getting the killers wrong in the 5th movie, and then getting them right in the 6th movie, which is kind of cool, too, for their dynamic. Yeah, I like them. Chad's a fun little football playing Chad guy who's actually kind of nice, and Mindy's the fun horror nerd. She's cool. I like them both. Then you get the characters who are just gonna end up dying. Liv's okay. She's Chad's girlfriend. She gets a pretty sad death, and you get to see the reaction. It's like, man, that sucks for her. Wes, who is man, he gets a pretty fucked death for being named after Wes Craven, but hey, whatever. He gets a fun kill alongside his mother. And I feel a little bad for them. And I believe there's yeah, I think that's all the characters that you need to really, really focus on, and I think they all do pretty well in that regard. And I think that's why the 5th movie still stands up as being pretty strong. I think I'm gonna put Scream 4 up here, because I think Scream 4 might be a little stronger just because I like the killers more. Yeah, I think that's accurate. I think that's more accurate to where I want them. This is like a 7, that's like a 7.5, that's like an 8. Because I think this is like an 8.5 to a 9-ish, somewhere in that area. Yep, spoiler, I'm going to put Scream 6 here, but I'm just going to put it here to kind of keep my own mental thoughts compartmentalized. Yeah, the killers are kind of whatever. Got some pretty fun kills. I don't think they're as strong as 2's, or Fours, which is kind of like somewhere in the middle there. Killers, kill reveals are kind of eh. I think they're both fine. They hit pretty much right in the middle for me. There wasn't a lot of suspense on who would live or die on rewatch, but I cared about Chad and Minnie, and I thought they died initially, but they didn't. So, which just also happens in 6, and they both get pretty brutal things that should have killed them realistically. But hey, it is what it is. It's still fine. It still does what it needs to do there. I think it's still fun, and I think it keeps itself fun. And that's what I really like about it. It's still a very enjoyable movie that you can just kind of sit back and go, yeah, that was a great movie. I like that a lot. And that's how I think 2 and 5 hit well. I think as being a bit harsh towards 2, it probably deserves a bit more credit. I think it just had some hang-ups on it that are my own personal issues. I still think 3 is only alright, though. I think it's just fine. On to Scream 6. Which, hey, we're back in action with Scream 6 because I think it's the best movie since 1. And by a pretty healthy margin. I like 6 a lot. I think it does a lot right. I like it for a lot of what it does. I think it has the best kills in the series. I think the kills are done super well. I think they're super suspenseful and intense. They're pretty brutal. They don't go into like super gore levels that 4 sometimes did, but they're impactful and punchy. I felt bad for Anika, the girlfriend to Mindy. When she died, she's like, oh fuck, because she's stabbed, and then she's thrown from the ladder and just splats on the fucking ground from a ladder on her way to try and get to them in the window. That was brutal. It was fucking crazy and fun. You get some other ones that are pretty standard, like Dr. Stone, the therapist guy. He's just kind of killed. But, it's done fine. I think there's Danny Beckett, who is in a secret relationship with Sam, and I like the fact that that she's nervous about him being a killer because she had another boyfriend who was a killer. Why wouldn't he be? But he's shown to be up and up, and he kind of dips out to be like, I don't want to die, and you obviously don't trust me, so I'm gonna dip out. He's one of the smarter characters in the movie. And I think that's done pretty well. What I like about the 6th movie is a 3 killer reveal, because you have a bit of an extended killer count. You'd want to give a 3-person reveal, and it's the, maybe it's Ethan, Quinn, and Wayne. And I think that's pretty cool. Having a 3-piece family that are connected to the boyfriend from the last movie, because was his son and, brother, are pretty cool conceptually as a 3-piece duo that can just wreak havoc. And, you get some fun reveals out of that. You're like, oh, okay, they're all related, and that's why they're able to get all these kills stretched up, and that's why you have a bigger kill count, and that's why it's a bit more fun in having more than 2 killers, not having 1 killer, but 3. And, hey, maybe we'll do 4 killers next. Maybe it's this entire friend group of killers with 1 person. That'd be kind of funny. But not beyond that. Yeah, I think it's done pretty well for the killer reveals. I'd say it's probably the best killer reveal since 4. Probably tied with that, and just not as good as 1. But I like them. They have good motive for being killers, and I kind of like that as a conceptual idea. Minnie and Chad get fucked up again and still don't die. Kirby comes back, does some fun stuff with her. Yeah, I think it's a good movie. Gail doesn't die, even though she probably should have when she got stabbed that many times. But hey, again, these characters are on something else when they survive this shit. Special shout out to the fake out ghost faces who get their first kill and then die pretty brutally. That was a fun opener because you think, oh, well, they fucking unveiled the ghost face at the beginning of the movie and then he dies. Like, okay. I think that was pretty good. I think it's a nice little set piece to build upwards. And, it's a really solidly constructed movie. I don't have too many issues with it. I just don't think it's as strong as the first Scream because I don't think much will be, quite honestly. But it's a strong attempt at being as good as the first Scream, which I appreciate very much. I like these movies a lot. Like I said, the only one I'm kind of iffy about is Scream 3, and it's still worth watching. It's still a fine slasher movie. If I'm not using it in the gauze of just being a regular slasher and not a Scream movie, it'd probably be good. It'd be like a 6, 6.5. But it's connected to the franchise, and I think it's the weakest, so it gets a little bit lower score because of that. Scream 2 is in a similar boat there. But yeah, no, this is my rankings. I will just say, again, 9.5, 8.5, 8, 7.5, 7, 5.5, 6 if I'm feeling pretty nice towards it. I think 3 is definitely the weakest. These two hit a nice middling grade. These movies I just recommend in general, and this is an OG that if you're a horror fan, I would implore you to watch Scream, because I love the series, and Scream is such a classic for that reason. Yeah, I know my video is a bit all over the place, but I am getting back to just recording again, and I wanted to record something kind of quick. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Nice little 25-ish minute video that I can just throw out on YouTube. Keep some uploads going, and it's over on interest. I'm going with Scream. I want to do other movies, like I want to do Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street, because oh boy, those movies are a lot worse. A lot worse. But they're fun. Not as fun as this, but still fun. And I think that's kind of cool. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll get back to recording some other videos too, to kind of keep that ball rolling. Hope you guys enjoyed all of it, and see you later.